Welcome to Peanut Butter Jenny Time. My name is Jenny Tian. I talk to a different guest every single week and just have a little bit of a fun chat with them. And today, my guest is Jeremy Franco.
Woo!
Yay!
What a downgrade. Honestly, I really feel bad for you having to have me on here, but I am very, very happy to be here. So thank you for having me.
You don't know who was on previously. No, I'm kidding. Everyone's amazing. Yes. So, Jeremy, I know you from basically like TikTok and content and whatnot, but would you like to introduce yourself to the listeners who don't know you?
So hello everyone, I'm Jeremy Franco. I'm a comedic content creator here in Sydney.
You're a famous superstar who talks to everyone.
It is what it is. But yeah, I started out on TikTok, then went to Reels, then Shorts. There's just so many platforms nowadays. And then now I've sort of been trying to get more into comedy, more into interviewing and just, doing a lot more fun stuff. So,
you're on everything. And so how did you end up jumping to TikTok? Like, did you have like a day job before or did you just do this? Okay.
I've always been like posting videos. Like it was always like in high school. Like I used to just love making like weird things and doing funny things. When I was in uni, I used to take like a camera around and I used to film us all like in the library and going to clubs.
Oh my God, you were destined to be an influencer.
And I would like post these videos on YouTube like just for fun and no one would have watched them obviously.
What was it, like day in the life of a uni student? Was it that?
Yeah, it would be like vlog, like pretty much like day at uni or like clubbing night or like all these different things of me being 18 years old.
That's so cute. My first shots.
Well, I had no intention of anyone ever seeing it. It was pretty much just for me and my friends to do. So I was always doing that, finished my degree, started working. I hated my jobs. I always knew that wasn't the vibe.
Did you vlog your jobs?
No, I think I stopped. Well, that was when I realized, like, okay, well, YouTube is just, like, literally, it was, like, sitting on 0 views all the time. So I was like, hey, once I'm going to see my stuff. And that's when, like, Snapchat. So I started doing it on Snapchat, started posting on IGTV. Like,
oh, yeah, back in those. What a throwback.
Yeah, what a
my
throwback.
God. I wasn't even around for those times.
So then all of that was happening. And then, I don't know, TikTok came around.
Yeah.
And I started posting and 2 views? Wait, what? That's 5 views? 10 views?
Yeah.
I remember I got 1,000 views and I was like, oh my God, like people are watching my stuff.
Yeah.
And the ball was rolling. Like it was very, very cool to see. And then it wasn't until I got laid off from my job last year in May.
Oh my gosh. Was that like COVID related or just?
COVID related. It was a tech company.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, I was working there full time. I was still posting always, but like never to an extent of like making money or a career. It was just for fun.
Yeah.
I got laid off, took my severance money. I went to Europe and I was a mess. I was depressed. I was crying every day on my Instagram story. And people,
your Instagram story, like it was public.
Yeah, people love to see you at your lowest. They really love to relish in your low points. And then I remember I was there for 3.5 weeks and I came back with millions of views, 60,000 more followers.
Oh my God, from all that crying?
From just like me being sad and depressed
in
Europe.
Gosh.
And the plan was to get a job when I got back, but the ball has just been rolling ever since.
Oh my gosh, I need to post up my lowest moments in my life more often.
I'm telling you, anytime, like people, it's just, I feel like there's a sense of relatability. You know, like if I'm having a shit day, like I post about it. Cause like, you know, so many creators just post about the best day ever and like all this stuff.
I feel like that's kind of like what's so different about like the new wave of like creators that are coming up, right? Because like especially on Instagram, the trend used to be, oh my God, I'm so hot and beautiful and look how amazing my life is.
The perfect aesthetic feed. I used to have a feed generator.
So I would like. What's a feed generator?
It's when you know, like when you see people with those beautiful aesthetic feeds on Instagram.
Oh, and so then it's like everything's like a color palette and it's beautiful and gorgeous. Yeah.
So before you post it, you can preview it on like a separate app so you know what it's gonna look like.
Oh my gosh, that is so
and you're like, oh no, this color clashes. So
I can't post it. It's not good. This that I've taken a really long time. No,
but now I feel like as you say, like it's just so much more raw and like people like the relatability rather than the perfection.
It's almost like people prefer seeing like the low points and like the unpolished stuff as like a counteraction to what was there previously.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay, so you've come far from working in tech, and now you're talking to literally like Tom Cruise, like, and you did you were at the Barbie premiere as well, and the cast of Never Have I Ever, like you were in the rings of all these really famous people, and also before the actors strike too, which is like good timing.
Very, very good timing.
Yeah.
We support the actors, though.
We support the actors. They're amazing. Okay, so, oh my God, give me the tea. What's it like talking to them? Was there anything surprising that you found about any of these people that you were chatting to?
Yeah, so there's a whole different world when you're talking to very high A-list celebrities, and that world is called publicists. Oh. Now, what publicists do, for people who don't know, because I didn't know this.
I don't know. What do they do?
Is they have to approve pretty much every word that gets said out of your mouth to the celebrity. So before you go into these conversations where you're sitting down with someone, you have to submit exactly what you're going to ask that person to the publicity team that they have, to the publicity team for the network, to the publicity team for the production company, and every single person will say yes or no to your questions. And a lot of the times they say no.
Oh my gosh.
So something that's like so simple, they'll be like, no, we don't want this asked. So when you're going into these conversations, a lot of them, not all of them, but especially with the ones who are very high profile, you are very, very regulated with what you can say because they don't want to be caught off guard.
Wow. So basically, and then does that mean like the stars and like the actors and everything, they already know the questions?
They already know the questions.
No.
Anytime that you see an interview with a Hollywood star and you're thinking like, oh my God, like what a cool, like the interviewer asked such great questions. The star knew it before they had the question prepared. And if anything was asked off there, the interview would stop, the publicist would pop out, and they would get pulled out of that interview. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I always thought, because like, you know, sometimes you see celebrities react and stuff and they're like, that was a great question.
Yes.
It's because they already knew it.
They always know it. Yeah. So it is hard to sort of bring, you know, like, especially you as a comedian, you'll know, like, you riff off people and you go off their vibe.
Yeah.
You can't really do that.
Oh my gosh. So then, like, do you know their responses as well, or you have no idea?
Don't know their responses, but there are a lot of times where the questions that they approve are questions that have already been asked. So you also know what their answers have been previously.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah.
Oh my God. And it's just, is it you that does this, or is there like a team that helps you?
So sometimes there's a team that helps you. Sometimes they will already have the questions because they don't want to go through the whole like, no. Yeah. So sometimes you'll be provided the questions anyway. Or sometimes you can write the questions and then it gets submitted through. So it goes either way.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is so tough. Has there been any like celebrities that you were like, oh my God, I didn't expect them to be like this?
Oh, 100%. Tom Cruise was one of them. Tom Cruise, a vet in this game, obviously. He's been out here.
Legend.
So we met him at the Mission Impossible, you know, the recent film that's just come out. Like he spent so much time with every interviewer.
Oh my
it doesn't
gosh.
matter. And then after the interviewers, there was the content creators, and that was optional for him. They told him like, you don't need to go here. That happens a lot, where they have journalists and then content creators now.
Yeah.
But the content creator is always optional, and a lot of the times the celebrity will be like, I'll just do the journalists.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise took time with every single person. When he got to me, I could have spoken to him for half an hour. He would have stayed there and listened to the conversation.
Oh my gosh.
He was so present. He was very, very surprising from what I thought. I didn't think he'd be awful, but like, I did think that he, you know, is a busy man, and he was very present, and it didn't matter who it was. He was going to talk to you, fans, everyone. He went around to every single person there.
Oh my God, that's so kind. Even like, especially like once it's like, here's these random people off TikTok or whatever, I would so expect him to be like, all right, cool. Well, I got a movie that I'm in that I got to go watch now. So bye.
Oh, it's happened so many times. I remember I was at an event and it was, the line of journalists and the line of content creators. And once they got to the end of the journalists, they would be like,
as soon as they get to content creators,
okay, so these are content creators. You can do them. And a lot of them would just walk straight
away.
Yeah,
that's almost everything I've seen or been to. That's been the case. So, oh my God, that's so nice. So what a kind person.
We stand Tom Cruise. I mean, I'm not talking about some of the other stuff, the religion stuff. Don't come at me, but just going off what I went off that day when I met him, he was a lovely person.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yes. He's so like dedicated to like movies and like film. Like the stunts that he does are like another level.
He does them all himself. No stunt double.
Yeah.
He just turned, the night of that premiere, he turned 60 or 61.
Yeah.
And he's still doing like Crazy stunts.
Yeah, my dad's adult and he's not he's not doing that stuff.
My dad struggles to get out of the chair. And Tom Cruise took a motorbike off a cliff and
off a cliff and that movie's gonna be amazing. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. All right. Well, I also wanted to ask, speaking of like parents and everything as well. So, like, my parents have no idea what stand-up comedy is. Still, they're just like, what is it that you do every single night? And then like with TikTok and everything, I never told them about my TikTok. They had to find me. I don't know how, but I think their friends or something told them that they had seen me on TikTok, and then that's how they found me and stuff. How are your parents with the whole like TikTok and content creation stuff?
So exactly the same, but I would multiply it by 100.
No way.
My parents didn't know what my marketing and communications degree was. That was me going rogue. That was like, oh my God, Jeremy is studying marketing communication. Like that was something for them to get their head around. Take now that out and like put in TikTok and Instagram and all these words that they like, that's a whole different game. Similar to you, I never told them about it. They found it out on their own accord. Yeah. Whether they know fully a lot about it still, I still have no clue. We don't really talk about it. But yeah, it's a very interesting game. It's just different to them. Like, it's not, they grew up with, like, my dad's an engineer, my brother's an engineer, all my uncles, grandfathers, they're all engineers. Like that's what they know. Yeah. And this is just sort of like a new field. So,
yeah. So even when you were studying like marketing and communications, what did they think you were doing?
They literally had no clue. They were like, Jeremy is doing some media. I don't know what that one is.
That's so funny. My mom had the exact same thing because I also did marketing as well. And weirdly enough, so many content creators I know have done marketing.
I mean, what we do is pretty much marketing.
Exactly.
That's what I told my realtor.
I'm actually like so legit. I understand customers and audience.
Well, they're not going to rent out to me to a TikTok. Marketing sounds much more...
stable. Yeah. But my mum was like, okay, you're doing... So I did commerce and she just kept going to everyone, Jenny does communications. That is what she does because she just couldn't wrap her head around it. But no, there is something in, I think, like other content creators doing marketing because I think like you have like basically what you're doing is you're creating entertainment for an audience, and at a baseline you need to be able to put your shoes in those of an audience and like analyze it from that perspective. And I feel like that's just kind of it, and that's why so many content creators do marketing as well.
Yeah, and then if you want to be successful, learning how to do brand deals and all that kind of stuff, that is marketing. Like you are the vessel. Yeah. So learning how to do that successfully is something that I definitely picked up when I was working in marketing, obviously. And yeah, I've sort of transferred that over. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. I think with my parents, it's one of those things where like, once you get like huge success, then they'll be down. Then they'll be like, I always, like great. Yeah. But they're just not about that transitionary period where you're like pursuing it and hustling for it because it's just stability that they want. So
yeah, we're in our 20s. We paid a lot of money for a degree, and now we're on TikTok.
I know. And then when their parents send them my videos, like it's just because because
you impersonate your parents.
My videos are about them, so it's different. Look at where it's like,
And how do they respond? Are they like, oh yeah, I do that, or are they like, what the hell is this, Jeremy?
Pretty much like that. They're like, wow, you're screwing us, like blah blah blah, like. But I mean, I think, like it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
Like I don't do anything too rash. I don't do anything that's untrue. So if they call me out, I'm like, well, you did say that to me.
Are they ever like, oh my God, this got like millions of views?
No.
Oh, really? They don't care?
Well, as in not to me. Like we don't really talk about it. It's like this untalked about situation with me and my parents where like, it's just don't ask, don't tell. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you don't talk about that.
Never.
Wow. Yeah. Why do you think that is that you don't talk about it?
It's just because like I know they would want me to do something else. Not that as in they've made that apparent. Yeah. So like they would rather me be, a doctor or a lawyer and stuff like that. So like it doesn't matter how many views it gets or how like they just have a preference to a different sort of life for me.
Yeah. So still, even at this stage, when you're talking to Tom Cruise, come on, parents love Tom Cruise.
My mom loved Tom Cruise. That was probably the first time that she like a little like tossed up a smile.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, we're still getting there. We're still trying to convince them that it's cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's nuts. Okay, wow, that's incredible. Okay, well, speaking of content and everything, let's maybe have a chat about clapbacks. So clapbacks is a section where basically we discuss all the mean comments and the haters that we've received and we clap back against them. So you encountered an incident quite recently that you describe as Lemongate.
Lemongate, 100%.
Yeah. So what happened?
Okay, so basically, there is a woman across the street from my house. She has a big lemon tree. She's an old woman, lovely lady. Her name's Donna. She obviously has a lot of lemons that she can't use. So she's been coming to my house a lot lately and dropping off lemons. So I think it was last Monday she dropped off like 20 lemons. I was like, thank you. Tuesday she dropped off another 20 lemons. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much.
That's a lot of lemons.
On Wednesday, she dropped 40 lemons off to my house.
Oh my gosh.
So I have literally got, I'm not exaggerating this. I have bags and bags and bags of lemons. So I, as a content creator does, picked up my phone and I told the story. And I said, there is a lady across the road. She keeps dropping lemons off to my house because I knew no one would believe me unless I showed them the lemons.
Yeah, you have to say it, yeah.
So I said, here are all the lemons. And I was like, I'm very, very polite, so she keeps bringing more over. How do I get her to stop bringing me lemons?
Yeah. And like, you were just like, hey, this is a lot of lemons, basically.
Yes, exactly.
And it was a lot of lemons.
It's a lot of lemons.
So
I'm lovely to this woman. I'm saying thank you. Oh my gosh, appreciate it.
Yeah.
And she is taking that as Jeremy wants more lemons. So how do I both be grateful and maybe just keep the lemons that I have and not have any more?
Yeah, exactly.
So the internet didn't like this.
Oh my gosh, how did they respond?
This video, I think it's on, a couple million views. It has close to 20,000 comments. 20,000 comments.
It's like, how can so many people have this many opinions about lemons?
Well, it is all, as I'll say, negative comments.
Oh my gosh.
It is people calling me ungrateful, disgusting, like an awful human being, just saying like how they, like, oh, I wish I had a name. Look, I can read some of them to you.
Yeah.
Because I have not been able to respond to them because I just don't know how to.
You also, like, when you respond to comments like that, you end up looking petty. So you're like, oh, I want to seem like I'm above this. Yeah.
It's like, okay, I wasn't rude to this woman. And it's not like I threw the lemons in the garbage. What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
So, I just can't even deal. So, like, some of them are just, well, obviously people are saying that, I'm ungrateful. And then a lot of people are saying that I should be making lemonade. Yeah,
which is a thing you can do. But that's a lot of lemonade as well.
What? Who? Do you make lemonade?
Yeah, no, I don't make lemonade.
Have you ever been somewhere where they served lemonade? Like, I drink Sprite. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, no, we're not in an age where we have lemonade stands and kids selling it outside.
So, okay, here's one. Someone said that I should take the lemons to a homeless shelter.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm like, okay.
Is there a shortage of lemons in homeless shelters also, that I don't know about?
Yeah, I'm a bit like, would they eat them? Like.
Well, so there was a funny comment on that. Someone said, nobody at the homeless shelter is going to eat the lemons. And the chefs there don't get paid extra to come up with new lemon-inspired dishes.
That's so true.
Like, I really don't think, like, I'm not being,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I just don't think that they would have use
No,
lemons.
they would, you know what? They would do exactly what you did to that lady and be like, thank you so much. And then make a TikTok going, I don't know what to do with this.
Could you imagine if I just went around to the homeless one day handing out lemons?
Like, and it's not just like 5 lemons. You got like almost 100 lemons that you got to get rid of.
It's so much. And then people are just telling me, why are you not making lemonade, infused lemon, mint water, lemon sugar scrubs, lemon zest, lemon slices, lemon chicken, lemon facial, lemon anything?
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I'm busy. Okay? None of these things sound good to me.
You're talking to Tom Cruise.
Why am I going out of my way to make lemon bars and lemon cake when I don't eat these things?
You've just, if anything, been given like an extra duty to do.
This is now work. This has become a duty that people are like forcing on me. Like, oh my God, how dare you not wake up every morning and bake lemon bread? I have things to do. I didn't ask for this life.
Yeah, it's not like you're just like slicing things. It's like you gotta then buy flour and then like sugar and like make an entire.
At this point, I'm paying for the lemon.
Yeah, you're paying extra money for these lemons.
I can't. Like, just the internet is jumping and jumping and jumping on top of me. People are saying just like, give it to me. This is a gift. How dare you be ungrateful? Donate them or preserve lemon gems. Stop complaining about free lemons. So,
oh my gosh.
And literally, if I refresh my feed, there will be another 100 comments. It's continuing. It's the dumbest thing I have ever been a part of. And can you imagine when I have actual controversial stuff later down the road?
I know, right?
If we have issues about lemons now, I'm screwed later.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe people have responded to you that way. I had a similar thing where I posted a stitch, which is a thing on TikTok where you respond to someone who's already posted something. And basically someone posted something going like, hey, what's something that you learned from a job that you're never going to be able to forget? So I responded going, I used to work at a froyo shop. And basically a secret that I learned from froyo was that basically froyo comes in a packet of powder, like big powder.
Oh.
And then you get like a tub and you fill it with water and then you stir the powder into it and then you stir it around and around and around. And then,
what?
And then once it's dissolved, then you pour it into the machine and then it churns it around and then that's how you get your froyo. And I would smell this like over my clothes. Like it would be like liters and liters of froyo. And it would just, I was like, I can never eat froyo again. It was like a 10-second video, right? And then all these comments going, oh, you didn't know that's how froyo was made? That's what makes sense about froyo. It wouldn't just come in like fresh. And I'm like, okay. And then there's this weird website that I had never heard of called The Daily Dot that then wrote an article going like, ex-froyo worker talks about how froyo is made, and I'll pull up the exact thing. Okay. It was just like, how frozen yogurt is made. Viewers defend frozen yogurt after worker explains how it's made. And then all these people going, it's really not that crazy. She's so naive. There's nothing bad about it. I don't get the connection between the emotions and the story. Like, so then, okay. And then in the article, it was like, the Daily Dot reached out for a comment from Tian. They refer to me by
Tian!
Tian, I'm a big deal now.
Wow. I love how they saw the word Jenny and
Yeah.
Tian and they just thought, oh, Jenny must be something else.
Yeah.
Like one of the most common first names.
Yeah, so common. No, they're like Tian via email and did not receive an immediate response.
How dare you?
And I'm
you
like,
didn't want to give them a statement?
I was like, there's nothing to say. Because I also don't really read my comments that much. So I didn't realize how, like, out of control it was getting. And so I was just like, they were just like, oh, Jenny made this video about froyo. Does she want to say anything? And I was like, no. What else is there to say?
Wow.
I explained everything in that video, that there's powder and there's water and that I didn't expect that.
I'm sorry, that's not common sense, by the way. I actually didn't know this either.
Yeah,
I really
right.
thought that it was made fresh by them.
Exactly right, because they're all like, it's so healthy. It's
I was
got
picturing
no
like
sugar.
cream and
Yes.
like, I don't know. Wow.
Exactly. And then you expect like it to be, I don't know, churned fresh there.
Yeah.
And then it,
Powder.
when it
It's
comes,
like, the
yeah.
KFC gravy. That's like powder and water as well. I didn't know that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, ew, but also yum, but also that
Okay, I
kind of
think
makes
I know what we
sense.
need to do. It
Yeah.
sounds like I need to apologize to the lemon community, and maybe you need to apologize to the froyo community.
Oh my gosh, what know-it-alls. All right. Okay. So, look, I'm going to be real. These are a lot of the questions that I had for you.
Mm-hmm.
One last thing that I want to know is there any like other tea in terms of like the celebrities? And I know I keep going back to it, but that's what's interesting about your life at the moment.
Ooh. I will say that there are a lot of celebrities who can get a sense of entitlement sometimes.
Yeah.
And
What's like, have you ever had like an interview gone bad?
an interview gone bad. I'm very lucky that I haven't yet.
Yeah.
Everything has been really good. I've been interested in a lot of the subject matter. I don't know how it could get if you have no interest in the shows, because I've seen a lot of people do interviews where they have no idea who the person is.
Oh, yeah. Or like, when was that time? Was it with Tom Cruise where the guy got out the water gun?
Yeah.
And started escorting him, and then he was just like, what? What are you expecting?
There have been some bad stuff, but no, so far I'm very grateful for a lot of the stuff that's come through. It's a lot for someone within, as you said, the content space to sort of get a lot of these opportunities. Everyone has been lovely to me so far, and I'm hoping that that's the case and continues through.
Oh my God, you're so diplomatic and professional. You're like, no, everyone's a sweetheart. Okay, so then kind of what next is there for you then? Like, now that you're like interviewing all these people, is that like the vein that you're interested in? Like, what's the next step for your content?
Well, I do love doing it. I do love doing it more in a personality sense. So as I said, the stuff where it's very, very strict questionings and all that kind of stuff where it has to get approved down the line.
Yeah, because you're fun.
I love to bounce off people. Like, that's my style. And that style of interviewing does exist for sure.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff that I really, really feel like my skill set shines a lot more in.
Yeah.
But for the most part, just continuing through all these billions of platforms. Threads is now here.
Oh my God, do you have Threads?
I do have Threads.
Oh my gosh, how are you finding it?
I'm liking it so far. I feel like I was using it a lot for the first 2 days and I haven't picked it up as much since.
Yeah, okay. It's like every new platform.
I know. But no, I do really like it. It seems like a cool space.
Yeah. Did you have Twitter?
I had Twitter. I stopped tweeting years ago, I'd say.
Oh, okay.
But it is good to have something that doesn't have all the history of my tweets from when I was 14, 15. So
it's like a blank slate for everyone.
It's a blank slate.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then continuing. Love to try stand-up comedy this year. See if I'm any good at it. So if you can give me some tips, that'll be good.
But also, you've already
Jenny is obviously the vet. You can see her in London next month.
Yeah, I'm going to London. Yes. Okay, but you already did like a stand-up set that I feel like no one in the world knows that we did this, but we did, and this is how we met, I think. Like a stand-up set that was for TikTok, where we had to do something like 5 minutes or whatever of material, and it was to basically, there was no audience there.
There was no audience. It was dead empty. We were performing to a camera.
And into the barrel of the camera as well.
Couldn't read the comments. No one was telling us if we were getting hate, if we were getting good.
Yeah. It was nothing. Yeah. But I remember your set from that evening, and like you had never done stand-up before, and it was good. Like, it was like for someone who has never tried stand-up, like,
if it was bad, would you tell me? No, you wouldn't.
No.
Exactly what I'm saying. So we don't know how fake you're being right now.
But you were funny. You were good. And I had never seen your content before. And like for me, it took me like 6 months to realize that, you don't just get up on stage and talk about things that are like fun and silly. You actually have to have like jokes and proper material written. Like, I've just thought that like on all the HBO specials and stuff, that they were just getting up and they were just like, oh, I just thought of something funny to say. And
they've like memorized every word that gets said. Because I thought the same thing. And then I'm like, do they have like a prompter somewhere? Like, how are they just like... Because they say it in a way that's like, a thought just came to my head. They have these like ways when really that thought comes to their head every show at the exact same time.
Who knew it was a refined thing that they had tested and that the thing that they were filming was actually...
It's such a craft really and a skill. And because I was in New York last year in November and I was... brag. To travel? I mean, no, it is a privilege to be able to travel, of course.
Yeah.
But I ran into this really talented Indian comedian called Zana. She is doing really well. She has a special now on Amazon right now, and she took me to this very famous comedy venue called Carolina's.
Oh yeah.
And I got to see so many cool people, especially in their like emergence level, and it sort of just like really inspired me, and I really started to learn like, wow, this is like, there's a really big skill to this and a craft, and it's not just like, oh, I'm funny, I can do it. It's like, no, there's so much more to it. So you are killing it with how you're doing it, and I hope that it goes well. Who knows?
Who knows? I could quit.
Well, I haven't done it since that TikTok thing that we did.
Yeah.
I also haven't seen that footage, so I don't even know if it was good or anything.
Yeah.
It was live at the time. It was live streamed.
It was live streamed, but with no audience.
And
you would have seen at Carolina's, the audience kind of like makes it.
It does.
Like-
And especially, so there is a skill. So there are some comics as well. I'm sure you've seen Matt Rife. We were talking about him
Oh, he's so
earlier,
beautiful.
where like his stuff is engaging with the audience.
It is. It's
And
like so much of that.
And
Yeah.
sometimes I wonder, like, how did it, like, it's set up so beautifully for his jokes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does it all happen? Because, yeah, he'll ask someone and then it will turn into this, like, really well done thing. And I'm like, wow, like, he's so lucky that he happened to get that person who is here with his girlfriend who works at the, you know, because, like, it was all set up so well for his end punchline. So, yeah, there's so much skill to that.
But also, I'm so bad at it's called crowd work. I'm so bad at crowd work.
Oh,
I'm so I don't know whether you have this as well, but as soon as I'm in like a big group of people and then I'm trying to think of like the next funny thing, like if I say something that's not funny and it dies, I'm like, okay, all right.
I'm just trying to fill it and like rewind a little bit, like wait.
I'm like, I didn't mean to say that anyway. Like anyway, it doesn't matter.
Also, like I've never done that before, so that'll be interesting the first time that I try that. If we make it past the first week, we never know. This could be scrubbed because I'll be like, Jenny, I hated it. It's not for me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But no, I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I am so excited for you, and I think you're going to be so brilliant at it.
Thank you.
Yay. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to wrap things up now. I've got to end the podcast. I ask everyone these two questions. So, for yourself, do you go to therapy by any chance?
I do not.
Okay. So this is the option
I'm
for
brown,
people who
we
don't. You don't believe in mental health. Okay. So for the question for the people who don't go to therapy, what do you think is like one of the greatest lessons you've learnt from like a mentor or a teacher that you want to share with everyone?
I really do believe that everything happens for a reason.
Are you one of those people?
That's like one of my biggest things, and I've seen it happen so many times in my life where it was, even as I said, like when I got laid off, I thought my life was over. I thought like, oh my God, like I loved that job. Where am I going to get a job now that, you know, I enjoy, as in, I didn't love like me in that career, but as in the job, like culture was good. And yeah, I really thought that that was the end. And I'm so happy with where I am now. And like, it all happened for a reason, like for me to leave and then go to Europe. And I'm so happy that that happened. And even just little things that I really think like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. And like, oh, I can't get this. It's all going to happen in due time, because so many times where I've thought that, months later or even years later or whoever knows how long, you end up exactly where you need to be. So I always believe everything happens for a reason, and the stars will align eventually.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
And when you're at your lowest point, film it. Film your
100%.
lowest point.
Film it, document it, cry.
Yeah.
I take photos of me crying all the time. My whole camera roll is just pictures of me crying.
So funny.
Yeah. I do an end of year wrap up of all my pictures.
So are you like in the moment like, I'm so sad, I'm trying to take a photo?
100%.
You are so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And also before this last question, is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to tell the people?
No, just, you know, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram. My name's Jeremy Franco.
Nice, yeah.
Jez Breezy on TikTok, because someone took Jeremy Franco.
Rude.
Yeah.
So. Okay. And last question for you. How do you like your peanut butter, smooth or crunchy?
Crunchy. Times 100 crunchy.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I'm very specific on the brands as well. There are some good ones here in Sydney.
Okay, what are your faves?
Pix is really good, but it's very expensive. It's like $10 for a jar.
Oh my gosh.
So it does go on special sometimes, but they're crunchy peanut butter, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely love it. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy Franco, for joining me on Peanut Butter.
Thank you so much
Tuna.
for having me. This was so much fun.
Yay.
Sorry if I talked your ear off.
No. Oh my God. I loved this so much. I loved hearing absolutely everything.
Thank you.
Okay. Yay. And whoever's listening and watching, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Yay.